All right, thanks, Rick, for showing us your airplane.
No problem.
Now, after that basic systems review in Rick's Grumman, we all should now understand and know that these light aircraft will continue to operate and run just fine with a complete and total electrical failure. It is not a problem, especially in day VFR conditions when you can see outside. Just the fact that your radios are not working at a non-tower airport especially is no big deal. At a tower airport, of course, you could always use light signals to communicate with the tower. But looking at the accident sequence airplane, which apparently suffered this electrical failure, 50 Lima, we can see right here his primary flight instruments are all working with the exception of the wings portion of the turn and bank indicator as discussed earlier. And really, day VFR, the only instrument he needs at this point is the airspeed indicator and perhaps the altimeter, and all of that is working fine. And of course, the engine is still continuing to operate just fine because of the independent source of ignition that the magneto ignition system provides. Now, with this knowledge that the aircraft is going to operate just fine with an electrical failure, there is no need to panic. Another trait that you need to have in order to be a reasonable pilot is not panic in the sign of adversity. And in this case, this pilot is allowing himself to get much too close to the Cessna 172 landing ahead of him. This 172 did not cut him off. The Grumman simply panicked and jumped in the pattern here and allowed this closure to become much too small and then ended up rear-ending him right on the runway. So let's go through this step by step, and here we can already see the Cessna on final. Yeah, your radios don't work, but you can still see, and avoid. The Grumman, of course, is coming in with no flaps because the electric flaps are not working, so the pilot should have the situational awareness to realize that his approach speed in the Grumman is going to be much faster than that of the Cessna, who has his full flaps deployed. The Grumman is a low-wing, slightly faster airplane than the Cessna to begin with. So you know this situation is going to only deteriorate. Now there's a lot of yanking and banking and panicking with the flight controls on this final. A lot of excessive control inputs. Okay, there the Cessna ahead just touched down. And I wanted to point this out here. You see the condition of the yoke? The pilot is so panicked that he's reverting to non-flying skills, driving skills, if you were. He's trying to literally steer the Grumman out of the way of the Cessna in front of him using the yoke, which has nothing to do with the steering of the aircraft on the ground. You simply steer the aircraft on the ground using your rudder pedals. But this pilot is so panicked at this point that his primitive mind, as we all are, is reverting back to something that he learned long before flying. And of course that doesn't work, and they just end up running right into each other. And he does properly declare at the end of this that it was, in fact, his own fault. Victor over here at VAS Aviation has the full ATC audio of this incident and a couple of pictures that I can't find anywhere else, but here's the aftermath on the 172, and we can see that the engine on the Grumman was still producing plenty of power even at idle RPM to slice right into this 172, and had anybody been in the rear seat, this could have been fatal. And here's a view of the Grumman aircraft with plenty of scrapes and scratches along the propeller and the front of the aircraft as a result of the rear end job. So there's no need to panic if you lose your electrical system in one of these light aircraft. The aircraft will continue to operate just fine. If you have some sort of an electrical fire, most checklists in these small aircraft will have you shut down the electrical system. In the event of an electrical fire, if the fire did not go out, then yeah, you really need to land as soon as practical or conditions permit or as safe as possible. But as long as there's no onboard fire, there's no reason to get this close to another aircraft to where you simply end up running over them on the runway. And thanks to David over here in the comment section in Vass's video for reminding me to get through this entire update without a single F-bomb.